Welcome to the Monster Mash. We have 6 Western White Stars here, and we're gonna see how they stack up. We're gonna start with the SLE version, and we're gonna run each one of them through this course. And we're gonna see how well they do. Okay, so the first truck has made it through the dip test. Okay, so here's the swamp test, and it seems to be walking through the swamp with little effort. It's not a very fast truck to start with, but it didn't really even slow down, so it kept its kind of slow, methodical pace. Okay, let's try the slope. We'll try the tip test. Okay, didn't tip. Now for the deep water. Now we have a really high air intake, so I don't think there's going to be any problems here either. Now this truck does have some pretty good traction. Okay, so this truck has completed the course with little effort. So it's proven very capable. Not very fast, but it's capable. So definitely a nice truck. And we'll actually park these trucks back a little bit. You know, sometimes I don't always park them where they were. Okay, so that truck is very enjoyable. Just give it a little extra room there. Now we'll change into the Western Star Custom by B-Man. No, it doesn't say B-Man on there, but that's the one, that's the mod which shows. Well, this is the only one out of the bunch that doesn't get the custom paint. Okay, so this truck here has twin stacks. And it goes through this dip just as easy as the other one. There might not be a lot of difference between these trucks. After all, it is the same truck, just different mod versions. Oh. A little bit of tire slippage there. We'll have to see how the big swamp deals it. One thing we noticed is this version doesn't have the old standard sound. The engine sound has been changed. Okay, so this truck does slow down in the mud. So there is a difference there. It does have nice suspension though, I have to say. It does feel pretty smooth. And again, we've got that nice tall air intake. Even with the amount of snow and mud in this game, tire slippage is a huge thing, so we're going to have to start cutting trucks from the fleet. I think this one's going to have to get cut because we get slowed down too much in the mud here compared to the other one. Currently all these trucks are in my fleet and we're going to narrow it down a bit. So this one I will park off to the side because it's not going to get to stay. Nice thing about all these mods for this truck, they don't take up very much space at all, but even so, we got to lower the number of mods. When you play with a friend online, you can only have 28 mods on the consoles, and they all have to be matching. And with the limit of number of mods that you can have when you're doing the online thing, I have to keep it not going over 28, and that's why we're cutting some numbers here. So the SLE will get to stay for now. The B-Man 1 is out. Now we're going for the Western Off-Road Star. Now we're back to the single exhaust. This one has a little bit more fuel. The other ones were at 300 liters. This one's at 455. Go back to the original sound again. And we walk through the dip test like very easy. Okay. So far, so good. So let's see, have we lost speed? I wouldn't say we really lost much. We might have lost a little bit, but again, it's not a very fast truck. So I'd have to say that the mud it dealt with the mud all right. Huh. And that ricochet off that flower pot or whatever that is there. Right into the hydro pole. Okay, let's give it a tip test. See how it does on the slope. This one's sitting a little bit taller. Doesn't roll, so that's good. This one doesn't have duals on the back. Got some off-road tires. Okay, same air intake. So same pass on the deep water. Okay, so there's a little bit of slowdown here. It does appear that the first one was still a little bit faster. For now, I'm going to park it over here because we still have one that kind of felt like it was ahead of the game. So, the SLE is still in the match. Now we're going to the Western Monster. Now this truck has way bigger tires and twin stacks. Again, we're at 400 and some liters. So we've got the extra fuel. Yeah, this truck feels pretty good. Now, of course, with big tires like this, you'd expect it to roll through this swamp like nothing. And we're doing pretty good. It started to slip a little and it downshifted on its own and just kept walking. So that's good. Now on the slope, solid. Tires do stick out further than the side of the truck, so it helps with the stability. Of course, there's no deep water here, deep enough to cause any problems. So I'm feeling pretty good about the Western Monster. Be interesting to see how it would handle a load up on the deck this high up. I wonder if the tipping would be an issue at that point. Or maybe put them all on a load. Daytime doesn't last very long on this game. Well, we've lost all our daylight. Okay, so we'll park the Monster back in the lineup. And we'll change to Stakes OP Western White Star. Okay, so this one's got 5,000 liters of fuel. That is pretty substantial. And we do notice a bit more power, picks up quicker, and it wants to go. Got good traction. It's feeling pretty good. Okay, so we're making waves. This is the mud pretty good. So far this truck has got the most capability. It is definitely nice to have all this fuel. Okay, same air intake, nice and high. I was gonna try and see if that tree there was a breakable one, but we didn't have to. Okay, so we're floating through the course with ease with this truck. This one is definitely ahead of the pack so far. Alright, that's a good truck. Now we saved the DU Mud Max for last. The Max Western White Star. And this one's got 3,333 liters. Again, a good substantial amount. Tons of power, tons of traction. I have to say this truck is a king of the mud pits for sure. With the Max trucks, they know how to handle the mud. So I'm going to have to say that these last two trucks definitely stand out from the bunch. So, of course, we're always going to keep the Max trucks because we've got so many different trucks in the game that have Max versions. So that was never an issue. That is going to be always part of our stable. And it looks like State's OP Western White Star is going to stay. With it as well. Same air intake, so no problems with deep water there. Alright. So we know we're keeping these two at the end here. Stakes and the Max. But after driving these other ones now, how is the Monster and that maybe the other one's the SLE. I'll go double check that. So we're keeping the Max. We're keeping Stakes version. Just want to test the Western Monster one more time, see how it feels. Drive it into the slough. And you know what? It still feels pretty good. After driving those other ones, you gotta really go back and just double check. So the Western Monster can stay. Now, let's try this SLE one more time. Now the SLE has full-time diff lock. But you know what? It is slowing down in here. So you know what? We're going to park it off with the other. So we've split it 3 and 3. 3 out, 3 in. So the Max, Stakes, and the Western Monster get to stay. SLE's a runner-up, but is going to get cut. And Western Off-Road Star is going to get cut, and the Custom by B-Man is going to get cut. So that's how we're going to do it. Hope everybody enjoyed the Western Star Monster Mash. Have a good day.